If you've ever dated a crazy vegan girl, you know the pain Morty went through this episode. Also, if someone ever says to you, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, run. I had to catch up on an entire week of shows due to a chaotic work schedule, so I'm really sorry about the amount of videos I am dumping today. If it makes you feel any better, I'm going to be punished very harshly by the algorithm gods for how many videos I'm releasing so close together. This episode was probably the saddest episode since the Vat of Acid one, which I actually consider the Vat of Acid episode a lot worse than this one. Morty basically found his soulmate and then lost her, though he could always go to a different dimension and get her back, so I don't know what he's doing with that. Maybe he just wants to, like, explore other caverns before going back to the one he knows is perfect for him. Anyways, is the theme of this season basically push Morty further and further into darkness and becoming okay with brutal killing until he becomes evil Morty? Because the amount of murder that Morty is becoming comfortable with is concerning. Like in the Purge episode, yeah, he went crazy, he killed a bunch of people, but he actually felt remorseful for it after the fact. With this, he gave no fucks. He did not care that he murdered a bunch of people, though of course he cared that Planet Tina murdered a bunch of people. I know in my episode 2 review I said I was hoping we'd see Planet Tina go evil, and I guess we did, but she didn't quite go as far as I thought she would. I know killing 300 people and burning down politicians' homes and whatnot is pretty extreme, but I don't know, I was expecting her to do like really messed up things, like turn people into trees. I just feel like we could have seen her go a lot darker and do more crazy things, and they kind of restrained her quite a bit, especially for Rick and Morty. I will say it's weird that they switched all the powers of the kids except for the fire guy. They kept the fire guy fire. It was also hilarious how instead of saying earth, they'd say dirt, and instead of saying ice, they'd say cold water. It was just stupid. Delightfully stupid. I was really hoping there would be one Planeteer with a heart ring, because if you watched Captain Planet back in the day, you know that everyone just ripped to shreds the little kid with the heart power. But unfortunately, Rick and Morty decided to put us in our place and say, oh no, without the heart power, Captain Planet would just be a fucking monster. Sorry, Morty, for the years and years of endless ridicule. We now know that without you, Captain Planet would be a homicidal monster. Wait, no, scratch that. I still think a super dark Captain Planet going around avenging Gaia would be epic. I feel like the Planeteers becoming super greedy and realizing that they can financially gain from their powers is exactly what writers do nowadays. It's what they do with any sequel to a childhood cartoon. Like the Powerpuff cartoon. We see the reboot live action that are now super bitter, alcoholic adults. Writers like to go, hey, guess what? Your childhood, everything you enjoyed and looked up to, they're now fucked up adults like you. And you'll never get out of this hell. Life is a nightmare. I wonder if the 4 Planeteers or Tina-Tears ended up killing the heart one, and that's why Planet Tina just went with the whole greediness and them using her for financial gain. Were there any Easter eggs showing that they possibly killed the heart kid, or they had a 5th member to their team? Because that would be hilarious. So with selling her overseas to an Arab, would they keep their rings? Because they could still use their powers without summoning her to them. So I feel like they could still financially gain from having those rings, though I certainly understand dumping her off for a lump sum, because you don't have to manage her anymore, and they probably want to retire. Think about it, she basically has the mentality of a teenager. I feel like that after decades of dealing with that, it'd be like, bitch, you've been around since the mid-90s. It's time to grow up. I definitely feel like Morty and Planet Tina were on the same level emotionally and mentally as for growth, even though, as Beth put it, she looks like a full-grown woman. Though Morty isn't exactly a normal 14-year-old. He's done many many things. Super love the imagery of Morty getting a blowjob from Planetina, because if it's something I don't ever want to see, it's imagery of a 14-year-old getting a blowjob. No. Morty used those elemental rings way better than the Planeteers that have had them for decades. Kinda weird, but also kinda weird that once Morty decides he's done with your shit, he's just going to absolutely wreck you, and like I said in the beginning, this is becoming very scary. We are quickly approaching evil Morty territory. As well, I want everyone to go back and watch the scene where the baby seals eat the gentleman that was going to buy Planetina alive. This is why we club baby seals, people. They are not as cute and cuddly as you think. Do your part. Club a seal today. Going back to the rings though, did Morty end up giving Planetina the rings to give her her freedom? Because I didn't see him having the rings at the end of the episode. Though I guess he doesn't really need them. He has a grandpa that could create devices, equipment that could do a much better job at killing. So I feel like he was so in love with Planetina, he went, hey, here's the rings, here's your freedom. Now I kind of wonder if she's just going to go around Earth on a rampage. Hey, if we want to have an offshoot of Planetina being free and just going apeshit on the Earth, I would watch that. It would be funny if we had a background detail in a future episode this season, maybe like something playing on a radio that mentions a eco-terrorist going around and just massacring people, and it's never really addressed full on, it's just a little Easter egg. So let's switch gears and talk about Summer. I'm enjoying Rick and Summer going on more adventures together and Rick leaning on her a bit more, even though Rick still picks on her mercilessly. I want the Rick and Morty Pussy Pounder shirt to be merch. I'm serious, Adult Swim. I will pay so much money to have that shirt. Please. Also hilarious that Rick crossed out Morty and put Summer and then gave Morty's image a ponytail and boobies when he decided that Summer is now going with him to his apocalypse hop party. Now, I don't know your relationship with your grandparents, so I can't speak for you, but personally, I've never had extended conversations with my grandparents in a spacecraft about eating ass and visually showing them how I would do it. I guess I've also never hopped from planet to planet doing drugs and having an orgy with my grandparents, so I don't know. If that's something you've done, let me know how you're doing now. And do you think that makes Rick the coolest grandpa ever or the most messed up one? Fucking loved the fact that the citizens on the one planet were cheering as the apocalypse was happening, and then all of a sudden they go, wait, why were we cheering? This is awful. And then on the other side, when Summer stopped the apocalypse on the last planet, them going, boo! We have to go back to work tomorrow. Probably pretty awkward to go back to work after you've been having an orgy with your neighbors, your family, your co-workers, having people pee on you. It's never been awkward for me, but I can see how it would be awkward for other people to go back to work and normal living the next day. Lastly, Rick saying that Summer did a very Rick thing and throwing a temper tantrum of cynicism and stopping the apocalypse is truly terrifying. Morty seems to be going down the evil Morty road, and Summer seems to be going down her grandpa's road of nothing matters, who cares, let's just live our life and have fun. And eventually she may come into conflict with Morty, though maybe she just really doesn't care. I mean, you do you, bro. Destroy dimensions. Cool. Okay, thank you for not yelling at me for getting this review out so late. I am a fragile, elderly woman. I will be doing the Loki episode 5 review and Black Widow review, also released today. If you are not watching this today, then it's already been released. Or you're from the future, and that is so cool.